Hi everyone, welcome to the Brightside. Time for our weekly chat with Sha-En. I'm so excited.
That's going to be your introduction, from now on.
I need to have a dance, right?
But everyone, check out her lovely top. You really are the happiness scientist.
Nice and bright on
All
the
right,
Monday.
jumping back on air. Michael Jackson sing about carrot cake. No, not really. Black or white? Sha-En Yeo, our happiness scientist, joining us this morning in the studio for our weekly chat. So, Sha-En, important question, black or white carrot cake?
I say orange.
Orange.
Like carrot.
The other kind of carrot
the
cake,
other one.
the
Since
Western
I'm in
one.
orange today.
Don't
so
just
I
say
chose
it.
orange.
More carrot cake. That's what I
carrot
refer to it. Then everyone gets
It
it,
did
right?
confuse me a lot as a child.
Yes, exactly.
The whole
It's
concept.
like, I want carrot cake, but why did it come out like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's not the carrot cake I eat,
So back to the studio. Every Monday we chat with Sha-En, the #1 best-selling author. She's a 2-time TEDx speaker. She's the founder of Happiness Scientists. And today we're talking about a very important topic. It's almost going to be the end of the first half of 2023. And I think at this point of time, some people start to slow down, become demotivated, And we were just wondering, why is motivation something we need to constantly be reminded of?
Yeah, because motivation is like it's finite. People think that it's continuous, and I'm sure you've experienced this before. Some days you wake up like, I'm ready to go, and then some days it's like, I just don't want to get out of bed, right? So if we only rely on motivation, and because it's finite, it means that, sometimes you get unmotivated along the way. Obviously, there are things that drain your motivation, or you don't feel aligned with what you're doing, and that's why you end up losing motivation.
I love that. Motivation is finite.
Yeah.
So we do need to look after ourselves and that mindset as well, yeah? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah. So why do some people struggle to find motivation in their daily lives?
Yeah, I mean, let's look at the root word of motivation. The root word of motivation is motive. That means that you must have a reason to do something. And then linked to that is like motivus, a moving cause. Ooh. So, if we struggle in our daily life, we ask ourselves, do we really want to do this? Or is it somebody else says we must do it?
Like
right?
obligation.
Right, yeah. So if it's something that's extrinsic, meaning that it's coming externally, then you may not be as motivated as if you naturally wanted to do it, which is intrinsic, right? So in our daily lives, when we feel like unmotivated, we must ask ourselves, is this aligned to what I want to do? Do I really want to? Or is it because someone said you have to, you must, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes we end up having to do things that we may not want to do. It's just our responsibility,
Of
So how do
course.
we find that alignment and still get the job done?
Yeah, I mean, we think about motivation, it exists on a spectrum. On one end, we call A motivation, which is like kosong. Totally, no motivation. It's like ask you to do also. And then you have
me in housework. Okay. Kosong motivation.
Kosong
That will be written on the spectrum chart,
Yeah.
Housework. But for Lavinia, be on the other end of the spectrum.
Tidying.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean that's a relevant point. On the other end, you say you enjoy it, right? When you say you are not motivated to do housework, it's because you have there's no reason why there is a reason you have to do it, but you don't feel like you want to do it. But for Lavinia, she has found a connection to it. If I tidy my house, it will look neat and tidy, and I feel proud of my house.
I love it.
So
my
that is
connection-
that motivation, right? Yeah.
So you need to find a connection.
Yes.
My connection is Lavinia.
I found the connection for you.
I was
It's
gonna
you
say.
and me are on the extreme end of the motivation chart with shopping.
So are you? Oh, right. Can we go back to housework? I think that's the more
sorry.
pressing issue.
Sorry, beg your pardon. Okay, go.
All right, so it could be as simple as finding that connection to the thing that you're doing.
Yes.
Okay, how do we do that?
Finding relevance. So you can ask yourself, if I do this, how would it make me feel? Right. So now maybe you feel like so. But then, what is one thing that I could do that could help me garner a small win? Maybe not every part of housework you hate. Right? It could be something small that you do and like, hey, actually, I don't mind doing this because when I do this, it makes me feel good or something small. Yeah, so it's about experimenting and testing to find out, hey, which of these could be in alignment to what I like or what I believe in or what I value.
The reward of it, or the reward of doing it.
Yeah, so that, like with kids, right? We say, oh, you do well, I give you a sticker. That's still an external form of motivation, but it works. Because if you have zero motivation, you need something external to at least get the engine going. Otherwise, you can't step from 0 to 1.
Okay, so for
Right.
instance, decluttering your wardrobe, the more you declutter, then you can buy a new one to replace it.
Yeah,
Hey,
well, or like, after you sweep and mop the house like I did yesterday, I made a cup of coffee and I put a chunk of chocolate ice cream inside. Like little rewards and wins like that. Then now I'm like, ooh, at the end of that sweaty thing, I'm going to have my ice cream, you know what I mean? Yeah. So
Okay.
sometimes we need that.
I can give you guys stickers. I got plenty.
You know what? At this point, I'm so desperate. I'll take what I can get. Hey, join us on Facebook Live for the chat as we continue talking about motivation. There's so many things we can touch on. There are different types of motivation as well. Okay, so
Yes.
join us on Facebook.com/1FM91.3. Back with more of Sha-En in just a bit.
It's so funny.
It's a little crazy all the time.
Yes, even today with Sha-En joining us here in the studio. Hi, everyone. We welcome back once again every Monday. I look forward to our chats, Yeah,
me too.
Sha-En, or Sha-En Yeo, #1 best-selling author, TEDx speaker 2 times. And also founder of Happiness Scientist. You can check them out over. They have an Instagram at Happiness Scientist, or even her own personal one at Sha-En Yeo. So we're talking about finding motivation for today is so important. We really take for granted, about how difficult it is to stay motivated. And so let's find out how we can be motivated.
I literally had like a light bulb moment earlier when you said that motivation was finite. I never thought about it that way. It's weird. It got me thinking about how when people say nice things about you, they could say 10 nice things, I'll compliment you, and you feel great. And then someone comes along and says one nasty thing, and suddenly you're not inspired anymore. You feel really down.
Yeah, and so if we just rely on motivation, then it means that we can't have that consistency that we want to. So I think something that's more helpful are things like habits, routines, structure. I mean, I really am not a person who likes structure, but I've learned the benefits over the years. So, for example, if I want to post something on social media, but I'm not motivated, if I just rely on my motivation, I might eventually not post anything at all, because if my motivation is low, nothing will get posted. But if I have a structure to say that every Tuesday morning when I wake up at 8 o'clock while I'm having my morning coffee, I'm going to type something out. So you have a
Nice.
structure to it, and then you pair it with something that maybe you're already doing. So
Yeah.
then that structure is permanently there.
Oh, that's
Love
a really
that.
good tip. And maybe that's why, a lot of like parenting experts say for kids, it's important to have structure for
Yeah,
them. Because
absolutely.
indirectly, it's also kind of giving them that tool to finding motivation as well.
And if you get things done, that is a component of motivation, because you feel good, you've
Yes.
made progress, and then that in itself is intrinsic, because like, oh, I got things done, I feel good about myself, I'm going to do it again.
Oh my gosh,
Right?
another light
Internal
bulb
reward,
moment
yeah.
about not relying on motivation to get stuff. I thought you
Yeah.
should be relying on motivation to get things done. And hence, therefore, when you can't find a motivation, you don't. I mean, but can you imagine if that were the case? You would never get anything done.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, like brushing your teeth, like your morning routine and structure.
Yeah.
You just,
It's like, today I'm
you're
not motivated,
slog.
I'm going in with smelly mouth. Cannot,
Yeah,
right? I mean, you just do
yeah.
it every morning, you see.
That's
So
perspective right
Although
there.
I do feel that some people do come in with the smelly mouth. Which is not motivated to.
not motivated to talk to them.
Oopsie.
How about yourself, Sha-En? Have you ever personally struggled to find motivation? And in what areas?
Of course. Like, this is going to be for everybody, right? Like, I'm trying to lose some weight, right? Since Chinese New Year, I haven't lost
But you
it.
look good, girl.
That's why I wear puffy shirt to cover it up.
She lie. She lie.
Hey, she's having a deep, intimate moment.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah,
Tell me.
yeah. So I mean, I struggle with that because like I love to eat. I'm the kind of person who will like save a lot of video reels on my Instagram and then like go around. If I'm going to that area, hey, I want to go and check out like 3 food places. Like my stomach cannot fit 3. Right?
You were just asking about Atta's butter share.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'll give you
See, I'm a
details
foodie,
later.
right?
Yeah.
So if I just rely on motivation, today I'm going to motivate myself to not eat that char kway teow or something like that, then motivation is limited.
Yeah.
And also I'm tempted. So then that's not helpful, right? So in that case, I've got to find something bigger than that to align myself with. For example, I'm going traveling in 2 weeks. I want to look good in my photos, for example, right? That's what I'm telling myself. And so I make different choices.
So how we approach it is another way that we can find motivation, stay
Yep.
motivated as well.
Yeah,
Because
correct.
you're right, like with the char kway teow thing,
I mean,
I'm
you walk
planting
past,
the
it smells
idea
so
in my
good,
head.
right?
I don't know if I can stop myself. It's more like I've already planted the seed. I'm going to eat it. I'm
Yeah,
going to eat
exactly.
it.
Like internally, we have already made that decision. Then we're just relying on our willpower to like stop it. But then if it's finite, it runs out. Then
Yeah,
what?
true.
You see, so
Yeah.
you have to find something that's larger than that.
How do you stay motivated to motivate others?
How
Because
do I
that can be
stay-
tough, right?
Oh,
You
yeah.
run
Question.
workshops and stuff.
Yeah. I always think about the impact that it's going to have on someone else. right? So like in the beginning of this year, I was feeling really tired. There was a lot of family things going on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to be out there with somebody. Even I think who could be that somebody and what could they need? And I could think, hey, maybe somebody is really struggling with burnout today. Or maybe someone is like showing up at their workplace and like just can't pull themselves together. They've got this big presentation. I think about them in that state. And I think if I share this today, maybe it can help them. So that gives me, because it's outside of myself, and I always find that if you go outside of yourself, then you can be motivated for somebody else, even if you're not motivated for yourself.
That's a really interesting approach. That's a good one.
I think as a speaker, because you never know how your words can impact another person, especially when you know you're on like such a big stage, a platform like that.
Yeah.
And you yourself, you were impacted by some podcasts and things you were listening to.
Right? And that person probably didn't even know that I'm there listening. Yeah, so I always use that as my motivation to get up. And again, it's a structure, it's a habit, right? It's already there. The platform is already there. And how do we utilize it?
Yeah.
I like this. Okay. And who or what is the greatest source of motivation for you?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think about all the people who have been in my life to give me the life that I have, right? Like my lecturers, my mentors, I mean, even my family members. It's always about people for me. I'm a very relationship person. I think, wow, if they have done all this for me, that means that they care and value me a lot. And that gives me a lot in a motivation. Because if they value me, then I can value myself and like pull myself out to do something today, for example. Yeah.
So what's one thing that you can do when you're really not motivated to want to do anything or feel anything? What if that persists for an extended period of time?
Yeah. I mean, I think we need to be aware, number one, where we might be on the spectrum of motivation, as I mentioned earlier. So if we are amotivated and it's been going on for a while, then I mean, we could potentially suspect some kind of anxiety that you might be feeling. Because if you're anxious, then you're not motivated, because anxiety means you fear something. And if you fear something, you just don't do anything. And when you don't do anything, then you lose your motivation. It's kind of all related.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle. Or maybe you're just burnout, you're exhausted, you're overextended. And if you're overextended, it means your cup is very empty and you're drained. Then it's really hard. So first of all, I think we need to find the source. Why are we feeling the way that we're feeling? And then next one is, tell somebody about it. Could be a friend, could be a family member. And sometimes it helps to have a buddy. Whoever that trusted buddy is, and say like, hey, I'm feeling this way, and maybe they'll say, hey, let's go for a walk. Sometimes just being out in nature could replenish your burnout, for example, or your exhaustion. Yeah, and if you really don't feel like doing something and you're at work, having someone to do it together, side by side, could make a huge difference. Yeah, so I think all these little things we can put in place to get ourselves from 0 to 1.
Carol, come.
Yes.
I'll go to your house. We do chores together.
Yeah, see?
Then we go shopping after that.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, suddenly that reward structure is there, right? Yeah. So I mean, even little things like that, and it's a great point, to do something together. Yeah.
I think sometimes a lot of it has got to do with how you think about it. It just can seem or feel very overwhelming when you think about the huge task in front of you.
Yes.
So, like you say, breaking it down, doing smaller things,
That's
smaller
right.
steps can definitely help.
Yeah, because when you feel, and also like we said, celebrate the small wins. You have made progress. People often look at the big outcome and think, I must tidy my whole house in order to feel good about it. But it's not necessary. Maybe you just focus on like your living room,
Or even
right?
just the drawer.
The drawer, like resorting everything,
Yeah.
right? And then once you resort, you feel a sense of competence. You feel good that you did it, and then it rewards, and then you move on. Okay, maybe I can do something else today. Or maybe today I've done enough. I'm great. I'm happy with
That's
that.
how I feel every day. I've done enough.
But sometimes it's not about...
I looked at it and I thought about it. That's enough.
Hey, that's a small win there.
Yes,
Eat
celebrate.
some chocolate.
I can see how, procrastination and, this idea of motivation really, really go hand in hand. It's so
Yes.
related, because I'm quite a procrastinator myself. I need to get over the initial hurdle of just starting.
Yeah.
Just starting. But I can see how if I take a small step, I don't feel so resistant to
Daunted.
wanting to start.
Yeah.
I mean, procrastination, we always think of it as a time management issue, but it's an emotional management issue.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Tell
Right.
us more. Tell
We
us
need
more
to
when
share
we
it.
come
Oh,
back on
yeah.
air. Okay? Hang tight.
So I need to dance to this one. Modern talking with "You can win if you want." Actually, that's very true. That is very true. You
Yeah.
can if you want, you know.
Yeah, you just have to
Mindset.
find a motivation.
Yes, that
All the habits and structure.
Yeah, which is what we're talking about this morning with our happiness scientist, Sha-En. Thank you so much for joining us again here in the studio. So we're talking about motivation. Are there different types of motivation? What role do they play?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it being on a spectrum, and I don't want to get too nerdy for those of us who don't really want to hear all these words, but there are things like,
There's a spectrum?
Yeah,
I
there's
thought
a
you either are
spectrum.
or you aren't.
Right, and
Oh,
that's actually
yeah.
really important to know. If we think of
Okay.
it like a staircase, 0, 1, 2, 3, like steps, right? If you're at level 0 and someone says, hey, you need to be at level 10 tomorrow,
Which is what our bosses always say.
yeah, are you motivated? No, actually, you'll be quite scared, right?
Yeah,
you'll be
it's
daunted.
daunting.
So maybe you want to think of how do we move from level 0 to 1. So like if 0 is A, motivated, level 1 is like rewards, right? So then give myself a small reward. So that's external, what we call external regulation. Let's move to level 1 on that staircase.
Okay.
And then after that, you have things like introjected regulation. I know it's all very nerdy, but it's like, you do something because if you don't do it, then you won't get something else. It's like a either or, if then. Although that's not really great kind of motivation, at least you feel like, if I don't do this, I'm going to lose something. I'm going to move up. But that's fear driven, not the best.
Okay.
But you just might still end up doing
But
it.
it's a form
right?
of
It's
motivation.
a form. It's a
Okay.
form of
Okay.
it. But
And
it's
some
on the
people
other end of the
do
spectrum.
work better under that little bit of pressure.
Yeah, so
right?
like people who
Yeah.
like say study last minute, right? Their motivation is like, if I don't study by tonight, I'm really dead because tomorrow's the exam.
Yeah, I've had that
And then you leave it to
conversation
the
many
last minute,
times,
right?
Yeah. In my life, yeah.
But if you talk to
Guilty.
those people, they'll say it works better for me because I squeeze everything to one night. But some people say cannot. I need
Yeah.
to spread it out.
Yeah.
So, we all respond to different things. And then if you go all the way to the end, you'll find that, there's this thing called integrated. That means that you have found the reason why you want to do something and it's very in line with your own values. You
That's
see?
where we want to get to, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's
Okay.
really quite a form of intrinsic already. And then the last part, which is the total intrinsic, if you're just doing it for its own sake, it's because you naturally love to do it. Right? So if you already love to do it, you don't need any rewards, what? You already love it, that is its own reward.
I want to
True.
say
Yeah.
I reached that level with this show, with you.
We're at level 10.
But I still want to get paid, so I was a bit hesitant to say that. Please pay me, boss, please.
So remove the salary aspect, and we
I'm
won't
having a
see
great
her here
time.
tomorrow. Goodness. So earlier on, we we're also talking about how if you're persistently demotivated, not motivated to want to do much in life, even what is that? Why is that the case?
I think sometimes you get demotivated because you don't see the reason. And we were talking about purpose last week. You don't see the purpose or reason for having that, for doing that. So then if you have no purpose, then why would you want to do it?
Yeah.
Purpose needs energy. And if you have no energy, then of course you're not going to do it. Right? No reason for you to do it. Right? So let's say I have something that I want to do for work. I need to write an article, but then I don't really like the topic I'm writing about. Then you want to write or not? You just don't feel good already. What?
Yeah.
But if you are forced to write it, then you can say, okay, what tools can I use to help me to write this article? At least get started.
ChatGPT.
Right? Yeah, maybe I can use ChatGPT. Yeah, maybe I can look for inspiration in other people's articles, right? Something like that. Yeah.
But if it goes on for too long, like when is it unhealthy? If it's for an extended period of time that you're demotivated, you're just really not wanting to engage with much in life even.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that could be a state where you feel helpless or hopeless, and we want to see how long has this been going on, and is it affecting your normal functioning, right? If every day you're morose going to work, then I'll say it's happening for more than 2 weeks. I think that's when we need to seek a little bit of help. Either talk to someone about it, or really identify what is that feeling that you have.
Okay.
How much is it affecting you? And get some support. I mean, this could be online support. There are lots of great ways to self-assess nowadays, or talk to someone about it, or shift up your routine a little. Sometimes routine, with all its goodness, can cause the opposite effect. It gets very draining and boring, right? So
Yeah.
I think human beings need a combination of stability and variety. We need routine to give us structure, but we need variety to jazz things up a bit.
Yeah.
Right? So like hands wearing orange shirt, like, you do something different and you're like, I feel good.
Yeah.
But on most days, maybe I'm not wearing this orange, and that's okay.
The concept of something being novel, I read that, helps with children in school. They remember things better when things are novel, something out of the ordinary, as
Yes.
opposed to the day in, day out, daily grind of the teacher coming in in Blackboard, computer and all that kind of thing. So maybe
Yes.
with adults as well, we too need that,
Oh, definitely.
element of fun to jazz things up a little bit, just to make
Yeah.
life a little bit different for us on a
I
day-to-day.
mean, just like last Friday, you guys broadcast
Oh,
outdoors. Wasn't it great? I mean,
Yeah.
you feel like
Good
it's different,
point.
right?
Yeah, we were on another level of high. Like
Yeah.
10 million coffees could not help us acquire. Yeah, it gives us a new breath of fresh air to go out
Exactly.
and
You
meet
get
our
new
listeners.
perspective.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and that jolts you in a different way. So yeah,
More,
variety.
more. We do want to do more for sure.
See, I read the memo. You guys loved it.
We did. Thank you so much. Sha-En, we always benefit from our chat with you. Three things for people to remember when it comes to motivation, perhaps?
So there are 3 parts to motivation. 1, feel good at something. So celebrate the small wins. Number 2, relatedness, which is relationship. Find somebody else to accompany you on the journey. Otherwise, you'll feel very alone. Okay. And last one, choose it. I know sometimes we are given no choice, but we ask ourselves, what can we choose in this matter? A sense of autonomy is really important for motivation.
I like that.
Okay. Gotta choose to do housework now. Sha-En's been awesome. You can find out more about what she does with the Happiness Scientist at www.happinessscientist, or find her on Instagram with the same handle as well, or on her personal one at Sha-En Yeo.
Yay.
Thanks for
for
the
having
chat.
me.
Hit us up.
Good times.
Greatest hits.
1FM 91.3.